Let's see how you do under pressure. Oh, yeah. I've been wanting this forever. I've been in the field with whatever they throw at me. Brush it off, pick myself up, moving on to the better. Okay. Hey. Yeah. Ain't no errors, baby, it's a new era. I wake up early, feeling rich like I'm Kesha. I get to the pay, boy.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome in to another episode podcast to talk about our favorite team, the Arizona Cardinals. Huge shout out to the people that are currently in the chat. We got King Plumtree, we got Martin, we got Adriel, we got Ghost, Brandon, Red, Vin, Freddie, Lorenzo. What's up, y'all? Appreciate you guys for being here. Up and foremost, do me a huge favor. Smack at the like button here on your way in, ladies and gentlemen. Today, we are talking all things Arizona Cardinals versus the Seattle Seahawks. Thursday night football. Can we get some fire emojis in the chat below? If we don't get those fire emojis, it's all good. I got myself with the fire emoji right there, ladies and gentlemen. We are at week 4, the start of week 4 for the NFL season, and the Arizona Cardinals are kicking off here in prime time. And I'm excited. I'm excited to see how this Arizona Cardinals offense is going to be able to rebound after losing their number one workhorse in James Conner, their number one running back. I'm excited to see how this offense is going to shake out and how Trey Benson's going to look like now that he's getting the full reins of, all right, here we go. Here's the keys to the car. This is going to be on you. I'm excited for that. And I'm also excited about how this defense is going to shake out and hopefully making Sam Darnold out there see ghosts. So a lot of different things to keep your eye on. One thing I really want to see is the Cardinals come out with the W. This is a very important, crucial game for the Cardinals to leave this game at 3-1. The alternative is 2-2 and 0-2 in the division. And right now, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if I can swallow that pill. I don't know if I can swallow that pill. We only lost by 1 point versus the 49ers. Now, granted, it was versus the 49ers and Mac Jones. We should have won that game if it wasn't for some key drops and the offense actually doing something consistently. But it's okay, right? The Cardinals are 2-1. We're trending in the right direction, but this seems to be the big game that most guys, that most fans have their eyes on. The pessimistic fans that are saying this team isn't going to go anywhere. This team can't be a or over 500 team. Well, guess what? The Seahawks are projected to be one of those teams that are going to have 8, 9, 10 wins, right? Just obviously depending on how the schedule shakes out and how these games go. This is an opportunity for us to break those narratives, crush those narratives, and come out here at home and hopefully have a alive offense. I'm not worried about the defense. Oh, no, I'm not worried about the defense one bit, ladies and gentlemen. I am not worried about the defense. It's the offense, right? And that's one thing that I said very, very specifically when Mac Wilson Sr. ended up putting something on his X/Twitter right after the 49ers game. He ended up coming out and putting a tweet/post out. He ended up saying, don't panic. Don't panic, guys, right? Don't panic. I ended up retweeting that bad boy and says, it's not the defense that we're worried about. It's not the defense that we're worried about. We're worried about the offense. Can the offense get their SHIT together? Because right now we're still living in a world where this team, already in year 3, they can't seem to get their stuff together, unfortunately. Now, Trey McBride, as of right now, is the number one dependable pass catcher for Kyler, right? I don't think there's any debate on that. Trey McBride has also dropped a few balls in the 2025 season, right? So not just Marvin Harrison Jr., but as of right now, Trey McBride is 17 receptions, 182 yards, 1 touchdown. There should be no reason that Trey McBride isn't leaving this game with 80-plus yards, 90-plus yards, and potentially a touchdown. If they can't get it going with their wide receivers, which it would still piss me off, but they got to get one of these pass catchers involved. Enough with the dinking and dunking 85% of the time. Enough with it. I'm tired of it. It's got to get fixed. I know there's only 4 days to kind of get prepared, but you had a whole offseason to make this team better offensively. And this is the time to show it here on national television. You're either going to hear people say, oh man, Kyler Murray is that great, or you're going to hear people say, oh man, here comes Call of Duty, right? All the narratives are going to follow suit. So Cardinal fans, prepare. It can get really, really good for us or really, really ugly really, really fast. So prepare for every single scenario because I am. I'm prepared for every single scenario here. Now, I want to highlight something here real quick. I ended up seeing my guy Brandon in the chat. He ended up saying, did I see that Kurt Warner said there's a lot of issues with this offense? Can you repost that? I don't see it, the chat here anymore, but it was before this stream went live. I ended up seeing my guy Brandon, one of these subscribers that's always on my live stream. Shout out to you, Brandon. He ended up saying, did I see that Kurt Warner ended up saying there's a lot of issues with this offense? Let me answer that real quickly. No, I didn't see that. But who's been saying that for over a year now? Who's been saying that for over a year now? Who's not afraid to actually tell the darn truth and nothing but the truth? If that's what Kurt Warner's coming out here saying, I didn't see him say that anywhere. But hey, I'm gonna take your word for it. But who the heck has been saying that? This is not on one person. This is not all on Kyler. This is not all on Drew. This is not all on the wide receiving core. There's a bunch of different nuances as to why this has not been fixed. If it's one problem, they would be able to fix it, or at least I would hope so, right? If it's one problem, they would be able to fix it. But there's a lot of different little nuances that is in play here. So I'm curious, real quick, Brandon, if you are still in the chat, if you are, appreciate you. Where did you see that from Kurt Warner? Because I'm curious to kind of dive in or listen to what he had to say. Because honestly, it's not even a shock to me. At the end of the day, this is what I've been saying this whole darn time. This is the problem with the Cardinals offense. There's a lot of problems. There's a lot of issues with it. It's not just Kyler. It's not just Petzing. So if you fire Petzing, it's not going to resolve your issue. It's not going to resolve your issue because then the new excuses come in, right? Oh, we have to learn a new offense. Oh, blah, 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 blah. I'm ready to see a Marvin Harrison Jr. game to shut all the narratives out there today. That's what I'm ready to see. I want to see Trey McBride go off today. I want to see Marvin Harrison Jr. go off today. Marvin was so down on his luck after this last game. He was so down on his luck. I feel bad for him. I really do. A wide receiver with so much expectations going into an offense that doesn't feature you, getting you at the 4th overall pick as an organization, and they don't feature you. And when they do decide to throw the ball to you, we blow out of proportion. Well, I'm sorry. Let me reframe that back. It's not blowing out of proportion. You shouldn't be dropping balls that easily, right? Specifically the one that was thrown to you that there was nobody next to you. The one that you dived in for in the end zone, that was still a PI call at the end of the day, but that was still in your breadbasket. I'm not going to give you I'm not going to give you too much of a hard time for that one, but the one that literally nobody was around you for 10, 15 yards away, that's the one you should have caught. Absolutely no doubt. So, I don't understand why this Arizona Cardinals team doesn't feature my guy Marvin Harrison Jr., but I just hope it gets fixed, right? I just hope it gets fixed. Back to the Constitution in the chat says, if we win for 8 weeks, we got to run it in Seahawks fans. Oh, yeah. Oh, the Seahawks fans right now are arrogant. They feel like this is going to be an easy win. They feel like, oh, this is the team that we've swept for 3 straight years. That's what the Seattle Seahawks our fans are saying right now. We swept you for 3 straight years. We're going to do it again. You know how disrespectful that is? You know how disrespectful that is for a fan base to come to State Farm Stadium and take over? Now, I'm going to be real with you. I will be attending this game along with a few different family members that are Cardinal fans and some family members that are Seattle Seahawks fans because they are from Seattle. There's going to be a lot of Seattle Seahawks fans. If you guys have the funds, if you guys have the willingness to, not willingness, but the fun, I guess the means, that's the best word. The means to go to this game, I highly recommend you please do so. I want to see the Bird Gang show out, but I also don't want to see the Seattle Seahawks take over State Farm Stadium. We see it multiple times in pictures. We see it multiple times on videos, either through TikTok or Instagram on the Reels or anywhere on any other social media platform. We've seen it multiple different times. So I highly encourage you, if you guys are teeter-totting with the idea that, hey, I don't know if I want to go, if I do want to go, I encourage you, if you have the means. If you don't, obviously, don't force it. But I do not want to see the Seattle Seahawks run this freaking State Farm Stadium because that's what they've been doing since every single year they've been here. And they swept us. For 3 straight years, they've been sweeping us. It's time for a change. It's time for somebody to come out here and put their foot down. Unfortunately, James Conner isn't here anymore, but that leaves opportunity for Kyler, for Trey McBride, somebody on the defensive side of the ball. I don't care who it is. It's time to show out. And this team needs to be the one to show out while the crowd brings the energy. Because I'm going to tell you, the crowd's going to bring the energy here. The crowd's going to bring the energy. Now, of course, the crowd can get really, really silent if it's very a one-sided event. I don't want to see it. I think this is going to be a very competitive game. Or at least I hope so. And hope the Cardinals come out on top. Because this is going to be a massive game. A real massive game. Brandon in the chat. What's up, Brandon? Okay, Brandon is here. Appreciate you, Brandon. He said this. Kurt Warner said it. We don't gunsling enough, so people don't want to come out to a slog fest. We don't gunsling enough, so people don't want to come out to a slog fest. Okay. Okay, I'm a little confused by that. Are you saying don't want to come out to State Farm Stadium as Cardinal fans is what you're saying? I don't think it has really anything to do with the offense. Like, I don't think Cardinal fans have anything to do. Well, maybe, right? It might have to do specifically with this team. But, like, let's be real, guys. Like, really ask yourself. And keep in mind that the State Farm Stadium is all the way in the West Valley, right? If you're not from Phoenix, Arizona, the West Valley means nothing to you. You don't know what that means, right? The West Valley is Glendale, Avondale, Goodyear. I guess you could throw Buckeye in there too nowadays, right? Surprise, right? All these cities that are in the metropolitan area of Phoenix, Arizona, but they are the suburbs or the other cities on the outside, right? So there is a big portion of Cardinal fans that are in the East Valley, your Tempe, your Scottsdale, your Chandler, your Gilbert, right? A lot of those guys sometimes don't want to make the drive because that's a long drive. It's a very, very long drive. So sometimes you have a team that needs to prove and needs to show that you are a competitive team. Is that what we're dealing with this year? Maybe. That might be what we're dealing with this year. Because honestly, truth be told, in 2015, this stadium probably was sold out if it was a Carson Palmer-led team. Now, I know there's a lot of, people that are kind of split with Kyler, and I get it. I'm not going to come out here and say, oh, give Kyler one more chance. No, I mean, I'm kind of teeter-totting at the thought of like, damn, man, I'm kind of losing my rope here, right? I'm kind of losing my rope with the current quarterback state. But it's a week-to-week league. You come out here and you beat the Seattle Seahawks. That's a team that is potentially a playoff contending team, a team that's going to be over 500. Not your Saints, not your Panthers. We're going to have a better feeling going into week 5. And guess what? Who do we have versus week 5? Who are the Arizona Cardinals playing in week 5? The Titans. Cardinals are playing the Titans in week 5. Wouldn't you rather be 3-1 heading into week 5 versus the Titans as opposed to 2-2? Now, granted, you could still get your season right if you play the Titans and you beat them, then you're 3-2. But I would rather be 3-1, 1-1 in the division, as opposed to 2-2, 0-2 in the division. That's not a good thing to start with. So massive game, massive implications all around. So going back to the statement of my guy Brandon, Kurt Warner coming out and saying, oh, there's a lot of things wrong with this offense. I mean, that's not shocking. I've been saying that for probably months now, if not over a year. This offense is not just Petzing. This offense is not just Kyler. There's a lot of little nuances, and it doesn't help that our run game is horrendous right now. You know what I mean? That doesn't help. That doesn't help that our right side of the line isn't very good either. So there's a lot of little nuances that need to get fixed in order for this offense to run as efficiently as it could. We've seen it. Drew Petzing can have a top 10 run game. It's just, we haven't seen it this year so far, unfortunately. Let's take a couple comments here on the chat. And then we are going to be talking about the Seattle Seahawks defensive rankings. I don't know if you guys know this, but the Seattle Seahawks, I mentioned this on my preview. This is a good defense. The Seattle defense is a very, very good defense. This is arguably the best defense we're going to be playing through 4 weeks of 2025. This is the best defense. Move over 49ers. This is the best defense. Secondary looks really good. They got a lot of their young pieces coming back as well. I believe Devon Witherspoon is coming back. I think Julian Love is coming back as well. So they got a lot of pieces coming back, and they're coming in here to try to steal a W at our home. So we're going to go over to these defensive rankings here pretty soon, but I want to give some love on over to the chat. We got Cards fan says, put in Will Hernandez and Beachum. I think I'm ready for a little Will Hernandez too. I think I'm down for some Will Hernandez. I really am. Beachum, this coaching staff needs to look. If this game doesn't turn out the way that we need it to, this coaching staff needs to look in the mirror and say, okay, what's the best option at the right tackle position? It's Beachum. It's Beachum. No debate. It's Beachum. Beachum needs to be at the right tackle. I truly believe the Cardinals are in this situation right now, and they're so badly want Jonah Williams to work, and they want to put a square in a circle hole so darn badly because he's a top-tier free agent. If you bench him, if you bench Jonah Williams, how bad would that free agency class look like for Monty Ossenfort? How bad would that free agency class 2 years ago look like for Monty Ossenfort? It would look horrendous. Justin Jones, Bilal Nichols, Jonah Williams, Zay Jones hasn't really done very much for the Cardinals as well. That would not look like a very good free agency class. I think they're really trying to make fetch happen. If you don't know what I'm talking about, then you're not cool. They're so badly want to make fetch happen. They so badly want to. They want to make it work. And it's not working. And it hasn't been working since he's been back. If he struggles again, there needs to be a change. Now, Will Hernandez was actually practicing in a limited fashion, but he's been practicing in a limited fashion for this whole time. Whenever the media asks, when is he coming back? The Cardinals are very, very tight-lipped, keeping everything close to their chest, and that's fine. But I hope there's a plan. I truly hope there's going to be a plan for Will Hernandez to be coming into this game, or not this game, but coming into the season as a guard for us. Fingers crossed. We got our first $5 super chat of the day. What's up? Back to the Constitution. Coming up clutch. He says this. Oh, he doesn't say anything. This is actually a super sticker. I've read these things before, and it really makes me sound very, very silly. But no, it's not a super chat. It's a super sticker. But it's a pear holding his belly, laughing out loud. Thank you so very much. Back to the Constitution for the $5 super sticker. Absolutely appreciate it. Malls in the chat says Petzing is going to keep calling bum plays. The part where I'm frustrated with Petzing is the predictability. That's where I'm most frustrated with Petzing. I don't blame Petzing for the dink and dunk. I don't blame Petzing for that. Some other people can if they want to. That's fine. I don't blame Petzing for the dink and dunk. I blame Petzing for the lack of creativity. I blame Petzing for being too predictable. And I blame Petzing for not getting the ball to your number one wide receiver and getting him into a flow. I blame all those three things on Petzing. The dink and dunk, I don't think it's Petzing's fault. I don't think it's Petzing's fault. You can debate me if you want. That's fine. I don't think that's Petzing's fault. Now, report just come out, ladies and gentlemen. Ian Rappaport coming out and saying that Zach Charbonnet, second string running back for the Seahawks, who was listed as questionable on the injury report, is expected to play. So here we go. Right now, when you're looking at both teams, the Seahawks look to be a much more healthier team than the Arizona Cardinals are. There's no debate there. There's no debate there. They're a much healthier team. But here you go. Shout out to Ian Rappaport of the NFL Network saying this. Zach Charbonnet is now a go and is expected to play in Thursday Night Football. Okay. I mean, I'm going to be real. Kenneth Walker III has been playing very, very good. Will we see some Zach Charbonnet today? Probably. We probably will see some Zach Charbonnet today. But I'm not really worried about Charbonnet. I'm worried about Walker. I guess I'm worried about both. But, like, Walker's their number one. Clear-cut number one. So, this is good news for them. Cardinals don't have a two-headed monster anymore. Bad news for us. We don't have James Conner. Now, let's dive into some Seattle Seahawks defensive stats or where they're ranking per Fox Sports. Let's do that right now. All right, shout out here to Fox Sports for providing this every single week. For the Seattle Seahawks, the total defense through 3 weeks, they're sitting at the 14th spot right now. Now, this, I truly believe it depends on how many touchdowns as well as yardage they have given up. I think it's maybe more yardage, more than touchdowns. So per Fox Sports, they are ranked number 14 in total defense. So middle of the line overall defense, right? Where do they excel in? Well, let's go on over to the passing defense. The passing defense for the Seattle Seahawks is sitting at number 20. They average 221 yards through the air a game, which honestly isn't bad. Honestly isn't bad at all. Honestly isn't bad at all. I guess when you're comparing to these guys here, I guess it is a little bad. 20. Their run defense, they are ranked number 7, averaging about 90 yards allowed on the ground. This is where I kind of get a little worried, right? Because look at their scoring defense. This is a good defense. This is a really, really good defense for the Seattle Seahawks. Red zone defense, 40%, number 3. Cardinals are right here. If you're looking at this, what do you think the Arizona Cardinals are going to do? Because they always preach that we're going to be going into this game with a different game plan. Or not this game, but they're always preaching that every single game is a different game plan. It's a different way of attacking a specific defense. Well, if I'm looking at this just kind of glancing, I would say maybe throwing the darn ball would be kind of something we're going to have to lean on. Now, we talked about this before, right? We talked about this before. Will the absence of James Conner open up the playbook a little bit more now that we're not depending so much on our workhorse to give us those nasty, ugly yards? Now, I do believe that we're going to still see Trey Benson with 12, 13, 14 carries in this game, maybe, splitting with either Bam Knight or maybe Amari DeMarcado. Hell, maybe all of them are going to be playing, right? But looking at this, I would say the big thing that you need to do in order for you to expose that defense is probably throw the ball. Play actions, but play actions are only really effective if your run game is good. We need to be able to get this ball in the air. That's the number one most important thing I feel like I take away from looking at these statistical numbers from Fox Sports, right? You got to be able to throw that ball. Kyler Murray so far, within 3 games of playing in the 2025 season versus the Saints, he threw for 163 yards, 2 touchdowns. Versus the Panthers, he ended up throwing for 220 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. And then versus the San Francisco 49ers game, he ended up throwing for 159 yards, 1 touchdown. That needs to change. That needs to change. I'm not saying the Cardinals get away from their quote-unquote identity, but we need to kind of evolve into more of a balanced offense, at least in my mind here. You're looking at a Seahawks team. Now, also keep in mind that they probably are ranked where they are ranked in terms of passing defense. They haven't had Devon Witherspoon in a bit. So please also keep that in mind. That's their number 1 cornerback, Witherspoon. Now he's coming back. So maybe that might change. So all these little nuances, all these little factors are going to be put into a play as to, like, what's your game plan, right? So you're looking at this and you're like, oh, well, the defense is ranked number 20. They average about 221 yards over the air a game. But you also got to keep in mind that Devon Witherspoon hasn't been there all these games. So this is going to be a tough matchup. It's going to be a tough matchup to say the least, ladies and gentlemen. But here we are, right? We're ready. Hopefully able to stay toe-in-toe with the Seattle Seahawks, because as of right now, I'm looking. Right now, I'm looking. I don't think a lot of national media outlets have the Cardinals winning this game. I don't think a lot of national media outlets have the Arizona Cardinals winning this game. Let's change the narrative today. They're going to be wearing the Nike rivalry jerseys, which I don't think they care two S's about. The Cardinals, that's more Cardinal fan situation. But they want to win this game. Both teams want to win this game. It's going to come down to turnover battle on the defense. It's going to come over to stopping the opposing offense. And then, can our offense score? Can we take advantage of the defense giving them opportunities with either interceptions, forced fumbles, turnovers, stopping them on downs, or just forcing a punt? Can this offense take advantage of that? That's what this is all going to come down to. We haven't seen it in 3 weeks so far, but new week, new opportunity. Elliot in the chat says, anyone saying Kyler's the issue last game just doesn't like Kyler? Yeah, fair. Fair. Eddie in the chat says, Kyler is 1-3 on Thursday night football games. Oh, buddy, don't even tell me that. I saw a stat out there that was floating around. I don't think Kyler Murray's good against the NFC West. Oh my God. Kyler Murray has a 8-21 record against the NFC West in his career. Did you know that? I didn't know that. Including playoffs, the one playoff stint that we had, Kyler Murray's 8-22. So that other record, that other loss is in that Rams loss under the Cliff Kingsbury era. Yeah. Per StatMuse, Kyler Murray is 8-for-21 against the NFC West. Yikes. Not good. Yikes. Tony in the chat, Kyler leads NFL in a lot of stats amongst quarterbacks. I mean, if you don't mind me asking, Tony, what stats are those, if you don't mind me asking? Yeah, 8-22 in the division is not good. That's including playoffs. Not including playoffs is 8-21 per StatMuse. It looks so hard for us to it looks so hard for us in the red zone. I hate that. Yeah, I mean, we got to score points, man. We got to score points. Number one thing, we got to score points. Shadow in the chat says, I think we have a coaching issue. Okay. Cash Beast in the chat says, that shouldn't be a shock. Laugh aloud. Cardinals have been terrible as a whole. Fair. Fair. We lost 7 straight. I hope we win. I'm taking my girlfriend to the game tonight. Ooh, look at you. Look at you, trash boat. Look at you. Well, good, man. I'm going to this game too. So I hope that nothing but success for this team. We can't make it 8 straight. We cannot make it 8 straight, man. We can't. Tony in the chat. Okay, so he says Kyler Murray leads top quarterbacks. Okay, me, I don't care about passer rating myself. Is QBR, right? QBR? I don't know if you were with me last year. QBR is not my thing. I think it's not a thing for me. Like rushing yards, fair. I mean, but what about passing yards? He's with the likes of Lamar. I mean, what would you? Okay, so let me ask you this real quick, Tony. Like, real serious question. Would you want to leave this season with more wins or more rushing, or more like the best stats for Kyler Murray, like these rushing yards? Like, I get where you're coming from. I really do. Like, it's cool to see that he's up there with Lamar Jackson in terms of rushing, but is that something to really gloat about though? Like, I'm not trying to come out like hard or anything like that, but is that really something to kind of be excited about? Like, Kyler Murray's a runner. Like that's what he is. He's a running quarterback. Obviously a dual threat quarterback. He's not a runner. He's a better passer, in my opinion, than Lamar. Now, it hasn't shown in 2025 in terms of stats compared to Lamar, but is that really something to hang your hat on? Like, I don't know. Like, it's just, to me, what's more important to me, if I'm going to be real to you, and it's my opinion, right? Everybody's opinion is going to be different. It's going to be everybody's opinion is going to be different. I would rather have a quarterback that wins, that has a better record than what we're kind of talking about, right? 8-21 is not good. 8-21 is not good at all. Kyler Murray's stats, let's take a look at them right now. Let's go on to ESPN. He is... So right now, he's got 542 yards. He's 25th in the amount of yards amongst all quarterbacks. He's got 4 touchdowns. He's tied for 13th in the amount of throwing touchdowns. He's got 1 interception. He's tied for 23 in all quarterbacks. QBR, I'm showing here per ESPN, he is sitting at 57.1. He's at 57.1. He's 16th ranked per ESPN. Per ESPN. Rushing, he's got 107 yards through 3 games. What's Lamar Jackson have? Let's bring up Lamar. Lamar right now has... Rushing, where are you? Okay, here we go. 118. So Lamar Jackson's got 118 rushing yards, 1 touchdown. Kyler Murray's got 107 yards rushing, no touchdowns. Lamar Jackson also has 9 touchdowns through the air, 722 yards, and a QBR rating of 78.1. Sorry, 78.2 per ESPN. So that's cool. That's cool that he's up there in terms of like the top quarterback with rushing. But I don't know, man. Like, I don't know. Am I being too hard? Like, I don't know. I just give me more passing yards and rushing yards together, and then I'll be a little bit more impressed. I'll be a little bit more impressed with that, if I'm going to be real. Austin in the chat says that's god-awful in 3 games. Elliot in the chat says, for all you to dislike Kyler and think quarterbacks grow on trees, what are you even talking about? Like it's all on him. It's not even the fact that it's all on him. I don't think anybody's saying that it's all on him. It's just, I think people are saying, because like, try to get to the understanding that you're actually understanding what people are saying, right? Now, some people do dislike him, right? So I'll give you that. So maybe that's what you're talking about. So for the people out there that completely dislike him, then okay. I agree with you. But there's some people out there that are just kind of out on him because he's not winning any games. Like, to sit here and keep trying to sell the bag of goods when we just looked at StatMuse and he's 8 for 21 in division, has not had a good record. I mean, things aren't stacking up for Cardinals. So please keep in mind that, like, no, it's not all his fault. But at the same time, quarterbacks get the flowers when they're good, their team is good, and they get the criticism when they're not. It's the way the NFL is. And you're right, they don't grow on trees. You're 100% right. But like, the Cardinals didn't really set up anything for the future either. So like, they're all in on Kyler, right? The Cardinals are all in on Kyler. But you're right, they don't grow on trees. Can you pick out 10, 11, 12 better quarterbacks in the NFL right now? Some might. Some might pick 14, 15, just depending on everybody's rankings, right? But I don't think the consensus, I don't think people think that Kyler Murray is top 10. I don't think people think that Kyler Murray is top 10. And that's what people want to see. People want to see a quarterback that's going to be able to get their November and December wins. And Kyler, unfortunately, hasn't been able to do that. Harold in the chat says, I prefer more wins than stats. I don't care if we win ugly, but when the quarterbacks and offensive coordinator play a factor into us losing games, that's my issue with the offense. Yeah, well, absolutely. Absolutely. Adrian in the chat says, stats don't matter if we're not winning. We need K1 to go off today. Yeah, to me, I think winning is more important to me as well. I agree with the chat. So I get it. And there's probably places out there that you can find content that's going to be able to, that's going to like glaze. Is that the kids are using the word glaze? Is that what people use? right? They're probably going to do that for you. Not on this channel. I'm sorry. It's just this channel is very, very predicated in trying to tell the truth, right? And I got some sort of little validation. I got some sort of little validation when I heard my guy Brandon in the chat saying that Kurt Warner came out and says there's a lot of wrong with this offense. But no, Mike, you're a hater. Mike, you hate Kyler Murray. Oh my God, you hate him. No, I want him to succeed, but there's no way you're looking at this offense and think it's only one solo there's only one solo reason as to why we're looking this bad. No, everybody has a factor to this. That's what I've been saying last year, and that's what I've been saying in this year. Everybody has a factor into this. The offensive line hasn't looked good. The running game hasn't looked good. Drew Petzing and his dumb, unpredictable play calls sometimes is really bad. The dink and dunk doesn't help us. Us not pushing the ball down the field. Everything is a factor as to why this offense isn't good. So I'm glad I got a little validation, right? But it comes better. It holds more weight when it comes from a quarterback that does it in the NFL as opposed to a podcaster that feels like when people are like, oh, he's just a hater, right? He hates Kyler. No, I want him to succeed. If Kyler Murray does good, then we do good. This is what we do it for. The Cardinals organization. We want to win. We want to win. And that's what people don't understand. There's a portion of Cardinal fans that came in with Kyler Murray. And if that's who I'm going against, then okay, I get it. That's all you know. All you know is Kyler. But keep in mind, I also went through the Bruce Arians days when that was success at its peak. That was success at its peak. People didn't want to play the Cardinals in 2015 because that was a team that was going to win. 2007, 2008, Warner. I lived through that as well. I was really young, but I lived through that as well. There is ways to be successful, and what you're seeing in the 7-game sample size, how can you sit here and tell me that it's finally going to change? What's going to happen? What epiphany is going to come out here? I just grown to expect what we're going to come out from. Kyler Murray is going to give you 220, 230 yards a game, and that's fine. If you win games, that's fine. I don't care. What's most important to me is this, the W, right? And I'm not going to pull a Jameis Winston and put it in my mouth or put some other man's hands in my mouth or fingers in my mouth. But that's more important to me than anything. A win. A win is the most important thing. I don't care if Kyler Murray throws 157 yards, 2 touchdowns. If we win, that's the most important thing to me. Win. W-I-N. Win. That's what we need to do today. And I think we can win this if we learn from what we saw in these last 3 weeks. And what we've seen these last 3 weeks is this offense ain't it. And it's everybody's fault. Everybody's fault. Kyler must start panicking under pressure, step up and throw. Boom! Tony in the chat. Tony telling it like it is. Love the name, by the way. I gave credit, and nobody's going to give me credit for giving Kyler Murray credit, but I've been saying this all week long because people don't think I give credit to Kyler Murray. I loved how Kyler Murray played in the second half versus the San Francisco 49ers. I want to see more of that, Kyler. Stay in the pocket. Don't panic too fast. I know you don't want to get hit. Step up in the pocket. Ain't nobody can give me credit for that, right? Oh, no, of course not, because I'm a Kyler Murray hater, right? No, I've preached this all week for the past 2 or 3 days. Kyler Murray played fantastic in that second half. Show me more of that. First half compared to second half, it was night and day. Now the next step is to throw the ball down the field. Make some chunk plays. That's the next thing. Get some chunk plays under your belt. Get some explosives under your belt. Jonathan Gannon came out, and whether you believe in Jonathan Gannon or not, he came out and said there's more of an execution issue as opposed to play calling. I disagree with them there a little bit. There's no way you can try to sell me that running a running back in a very crucial drive to a stacked box into the side that they're favored in, where they got most of their guys there, is a smart thing to do. No, I disagree with you there, Gannon, in terms of, this is the best offensive game called by Petzing. That's a damn lie. You know it's a damn lie. But I will give them, it does have to do with execution. Offensive line has a play. The run game needs to get better. The explosive game needs to get better. The dink and dunk can't be our identity, which has been our identity for over a year now. That all needs to get changed. Everything. Everything. Tony in the chat says, Mike, can you at least agree that since he's talked to Manning, he's mature? I mean, yes, I guess. But like that's what. Honestly, I would take it even further. I think when Gannon has came here, he's matured. I would take it even further. I would say since Gannon has been here, he's matured. Ain't no way that, to me, he still does a little bit of grumpy cat. He still does. He still does a little bit of the grumpy cat on the sidelines. He does. I'll give you that. But in terms of the maturity level, I think since Gannon has been here, he's been better. He's been better since Gannon has been here. So I'll take it a step further and say that. If you want to take it to where Peyton Manning is, then cool. I guess whatever. But I think his maturity level got better since Gannon's been here. Do I want Grumpy Cat to end? Yeah, I do, but I'm not going to get that. Michael in the chat says, Kyler has been playing to avoid mistakes. Because of that, we're not explosive. I don't know if this is a narrative that's been floating around, or this is something that people are actually listening to me, or if you just caught this yourself because you're a smart dude. But I've said this once and I'll say it again. I think in the last 3 weeks, we truly saw, and I thought about this all last year too. I just never mentioned it. But I truly think that the Arizona Cardinals are this conservative because they don't want Kyler Murray to make a mistake. I seriously now feel that, now looking at 3 weeks and seeing what sample size we saw last year too. I truly feel that way. I think the Arizona Cardinals are playing this way because they don't want Kyler to make a mistake. It's now kind of time to stop that. It's now kind of time to stop that. We can't play scared. We can't play conservative. You gotta let it rip. You gotta let it rip. And for the people out there that are saying there's no plays to be made on Sundays, please look at the film. Look at the film. Hell, even go on XN/Twitter. There's people out there that are putting out film stuff out there, right? Even go on there if you want to. If you don't want to spend the $14.99 on NFL Plus, okay, I respect that. Just go online and do a little research. There's plays to be made. Now, whether that's Kyler Murray not looking, whether that's Kyler Murray's not first progression read, I don't care. But there's plays to be made on Sundays that can make his stats a lot better. I'm not out on Kyler. I want him to succeed. But you better bet your bottom dollar if this continues to happen, I'm not out on Kyler gets little less. I'm going to stop screaming that. Because what's most important to me is winning. That's what's most important to me. And for our fourth overall pick to freaking develop, that's what's most important to me. Develop him. Throw the ball to him. None of this bull crap ball is going to go where the ball is going to go. Which, although I agree with, but still, it's crap right now. Let's keep it with the chat. Eddie in the chat says, if we get rid of Petzing, who do we get? That's the problem. Nobody's thinking about that. Nobody's thinking about that. Okay, so we get rid of Petzing. Okay, what happens then? You elevate somebody else that has no experience? Are you waiting for Mike McDaniels to get fired to bring him in? Oh, teach us a new scheme, please. It took us 3 years and we look this terrible. What do you think is going to happen with somebody else coming in here? What the heck? Like, what the frick? Like, no, it's not going to work out that way. If you want to fire Petzing at the end of the season, that's fine. I don't care. I'm not a Petzing stan. If you want to fire him at the midway through the season because this season has gone to poop, then okay, that's fine. You can't fire him right now. You can't fire him next week. Cardinals right now are still 2-1. Hey, Jonathan Gannon, it doesn't look like he's going to fire him. So also keep that in mind as well. So get your undies out in a bunch. It ain't going to happen. And what happens if it does happen? Then we're going to go right back to square one. Oh, he's got to learn an offense. What? Tell me a quarterback that's been dealing with the stuff that we've been dealing with multiple years. I don't know any team that's been struggling the way we've been struggling for years, and our excuse is, oh, he's barely learning. He's learning a new QB. Oh, it's new footwork. What the frick? Why aren't we getting the ball over to Marvin Harrison Jr.? Oh, it's just year 2. What the frick? No, get him the ball. Throw the ball to him. Get specific plays that's going to design to get him the ball. That's what you got to do. Simple as that. I see some people here said in the chat says Mike McDaniel. Mike McDaniels is still a coach. What are you going to do? Convince him to come over here? Hey, buddy, you want to get a demotion? You want to get a demotion? Or when are you getting fired so we can fire this guy? It ain't happening. It probably happened in the offseason, maybe not during the season. If he gets fired, maybe he can come in as a consultant. Maybe he can help out Pesci. Maybe. I don't know. They're not going to change schemes midway through the season. Maybe a different play caller with Petzing's scheme. Maybe that might happen. Maybe more experienced guy, somebody different that's giving a different, fresh look, as opposed to we're behind the chains and 2 of those next 2 or 3 plays are going to be run, incomplete somewhere down the damn field. Or, sorry, not down the field, check down. So, we got to win this game. We got to win this game. Go get Dable. Honestly, I don't mind Dable, to be real with you. I don't mind Dable one bit, honestly. Cardinals are better says, hey to all the people who don't believe in Kyler. You guys do at least understand. No excuses. We are playing Sam Darnold. If you don't believe in Kyler, no chance you believe in Sammy D. There were some people out there that wanted the Cardinals to go after Sam Darnold. I was never one of those guys. If the plan for the Cardinals to grab a quarterback and develop him, I was game for that. If the Cardinals were going to be doing something like that, obviously the Cardinals didn't do it, right? I was game for the Cardinals to get somebody in the 3rd round, 4th round. My ideal spot before Jackson Dart hit his stock up was getting Jackson Dart in the 3rd or 4th round. But of course, his stock went up like this and people found out about him. And then obviously the Giants ended up jumping on him. Now, is he going to be good? Is he ready? Who knows? Who knows? They're starting off 0-3, so it's not a good start for the Giants right now. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. Steven in the chat says, should we be drafting the should we be drafting line early next year or hit the trade market? I don't mind getting an offensive lineman if that's what the Cardinals are going to do. I don't mind getting an offensive lineman. Hell, I don't mind the Arizona Cardinals going wide receiver next year either. There was room for us to actually have a conversation about that. And I remember so many people getting on me like, oh man, you're talking about getting a wide receiver back to back. Oh, this is why I'm so glad you're not the general manager. Oh my God, I'm so glad you're not the general manager. Well, guess what? I had Emeka Egbuka on my list of guys I would love the Arizona Cardinals to bring in, but nah. I'm not a general manager though. No, of course not. No. But other players I like. James Pierce Jr. Loved him. I thought he looked good. But I mean, he looks decent. I mean, at least he's producing. Jalen Walker, I liked him as well. Jalen Walker's producing. I can't wait for Walter Nolan to come out here. I cannot wait for Walter Nolan to come out here. I'm gonna be real. He wasn't my first option at the 16th overall pick. I got behind it because he's a Cardinal. But if he can prove me wrong, then I'm game. Then I'm game. Lorenzo in the chat says, Kyler's going to be here at least 2 more seasons. Get used to it, hater. Do you think so? You think so? If the Cardinals only win 5 or 6 games this year, you think so? Or do you think the Cardinals are going to win 8 games because that's kind of where we're at? Actually, I'm curious about this. Everybody, answer this question if you think. Do you think this is make or break for Kyler? Do you think this is playoffs or bust for Kyler? Do you think this is Kyler Murray's going to come back regardless next year? What are your thoughts? Because I don't think so. I personally don't think so. I think this is a massive year for Kyler. And if the Cardinals don't treat it this way, there's a lot of Cardinal fans that are tuned out and they were just waiting for a new quarterback change. I've already talked to a lot of them. They're not even watching. They're just waiting for him to leave. Dogface in the chat says it should be, but it's not going to be. He's going to play out his contract. Okay. No way we win 8 games with this offense. Well, damn, girl. I think we still can. Sheesh. If Kyler doesn't make the playoffs, if we don't make the playoffs, Kyler's gone. Well, let's look at it this way. What if the Cardinals only win 8 games, they miss the playoffs, they keep Kyler, but they draft a quarterback to develop under Kyler? Would you be okay with that? What if truly, indeed, Michael Bidwell does not want to escape the fact that his contract is very, very inflated? What if that happens? What if the Cardinals allocate a first-round pick? I mean, if you win 8 games, you're probably going to be somewhere in the 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 mark, but you miss playoffs? What if the Cardinals did that? Would you be okay with that? Or do you want Kyler gone? Like, I'm talking to the guys that want, like, this is playoff or bust for Kyler, those people. So would you like that? Because there's a lot of intriguing quarterbacks out there right now. And they could probably sit behind Kyler for a year. Hell, maybe even 6 months or 3 months, 4 months. How about that? Coach Jad in the chat said Jacoby will be in. Do you think so? Damn. So another Clayton Tune. Clayton Tune was a 5th-round pick in his defense. And yes, I did hype up Clayton Tune too much. Please keep in mind that was a 2023 season that we had nothing going for us. That's all I had, all right? Excuse me. I don't bat 1,000. I'm sorry. I don't bat 1,000. I'm sorry. The play calling is buns. It's not even funny. I like Kyler as a person, but this is playoffs or bust. Okay. Kyler doesn't want to be here. Arizona Cardinals. He doesn't even live near Arizona. I mean, I think he's got a home here, right? I wouldn't say he doesn't like it. So we have somebody say they would rather trade for a quarterback. Okay. Interesting. Joel in the chat says, I'd be okay with someone learning how not to play behind Kyler. Oh, man, that's funny. Okay. All right. Well, options galore. Let's just put options galore. That's funny. All right, man. That's why. One thing I would say, man, the chat never disappoints. The chat never disappoints. Well, let's read one more comment. You guys are clutch right now. Let's go with King saying, I don't think Kyler Murray is a problem. There's no creativity with his offense. I do agree with that in a sense. Yeah, I do agree with that in a sense. There's specific plays that you're like, what the heck? Like, what the heck is going on with this offense? But also keep in mind, decisions that are being made on the offense is not on Petzing. The dink and dunk is not on Petzing. Is it on the coaching staff for teaching them that? Maybe, right? Is it on the coaching staff for telling them just take what you can get and hammering it down? Yeah, probably. But the dink and dunk, that's not on Petzing. Vin in the chat says, bro, Kyler is good. Have some faith. This is what I need, Vin. This is what I need. Win us today. Win it. Win us today. We won't have this conversation next week. That's what I want to see. Win us this game today. Win us this game. Beat Sam Darnold. For the love of God, I cannot leave this game with Sam Darnold beating us. I can't. Pedro in the chat says, do you think the Cardinals, where'd it go? Cardinals are going to start airing it out now that we don't have Connor? That's one thing I'm really going to keep my eyes on, Pedro. This is something I'm really going to keep my eyes on because you got to think about it, man. Like, your workhorse is done, right? And I know they believe in Benson, but like, how is Benson going to be able to work, right? Now, Benson's been given the keys here. Benson's been given the keys to the running back core. That's it. This is his opportunity to come out here and shine. This is his opportunity to come out here and shine. As of right now, it's Benson's offense to lead in the run game. Now, another thing I want to bring your guys' attention, I'm not sure if you guys ended up seeing this, but there was an article published. There's a lot of articles published everywhere when it comes down to NFL, obviously, right? But there's a lot of articles out there saying that there's specific running backs that can be available in the trade market. There's some running backs that can be available in the open trade market, right? And of course, the Cardinals' name has been floating around about potentially going after a running back. Now, whether you want a running back or you don't want a running back, this is something to talk about, right? Because it might not be this article that I'm bringing up right here, but there's some articles out there saying the Cardinals need to go in on getting themselves a running back that can do it in the NFL. Now, I think the Cardinals are going to wait, right? They're going to wait to see if Trey Benson can carry this load. I think they're going to wait to see if they can carry this load. Now, right now, we got Benson, we got DeMarcado, as well as Bam Knight, which honestly, I like Bam Knight, but we never really seen him in the regular season. We'll have to kind of wait and see how that shakes out. But there's articles out there that saying maybe Breece Hall can be available. There's articles out there saying that Alvin Kamara can be available. Tony Pollard can be available. Travis Etienne. Devon Etienne can be available. Because just like my guy Juan in the chat says, if Benson goes down, we're toast. Yeah, I mean, we are. Are you guys in any sort of stance of maybe the Cardinals going after a running back somewhere in the trade deadline? Now, of course, I think the Cardinals are going to give every opportunity to Trey Benson to succeed. If he comes out here and he puts up 100 yards on the ground, then we got our guy, right? Then we got our guy. I don't think the Cardinals are going to be dipping their toes in this. But let's say we fall victim to the Seattle Seahawks' really good run defense, and they got a really good run defense over there. Let's say he only puts up 40, 50 yards on the ground. Is it panic mode then? Is it panic mode for the Cardinals to potentially at least look or call about any of these 5 guys? Of course, the 2 guys that I would love to see is probably Breece Hall or maybe even Alvin Kamara would be amazing. Devon Etienne, I like him as well. But these are obviously the 2 guys that I would like to card. But what say you guys? What say you guys? Said in the chat says our run game is awful. Our receivers are regressing. Play calling is trash. The O-line is trash. Okay, so not even a running back's going to save us. All right, I get it. Breece available for what compensation? I would have to look into it. I don't really know the contract stuff. If Benson doesn't have a decent game, then we're talking about this next week. Hell, maybe even Friday or Saturday or Sunday. We're talking about this. But if Benson comes out here and has a really solid game, 80 yards, 75 yards, and a touchdown, I think that's more than enough to be like, okay, we'll be all right. But that's another big storyline to look into it, right? Trash Boat in the chat says Etienne or Hall would be nice. Yeah, Michael Carter's got us. All right, well, can we give Michael Carter the option? Because it doesn't seem like anybody's coming in here, man. It doesn't seem like nobody's coming in here. Cardinals are bringing in a lot of people that nobody knows. I'm sorry, but like I'm gonna be real here. Like Monty Austinford, it's time to put your competitive hat on. If we win this game and we're 3-1 going into week 5, that's a much better spot to be in, obviously. If Trey Benson's the guy now during the trade deadline, you need to find his backup. Fair? So maybe instead of going after an Alvin Kamara or a Breece Hall, maybe you still do go into the running back market, maybe getting like a Tony Pollard or maybe even a Travis Etienne, right? If you get one of those guys, they're going to be a lot cheaper. Etienne might not be available, just really depending on what the Jaguars end up doing. And that's such a weird team. Like, I don't really know what their identity is. But Dolphins, I don't think they're going anywhere. Titans are definitely not going anywhere. So maybe you're going to somewhere in that realm. I don't know. Very good question. But like I said, here we go. Adrian in the chat. I got faith in Benson. I do too. We also have Bam in the backfield to use. Let's see. I think Benson will ball out. Let's go. Okay. Well, let's go. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. Let me just do a real quick shout out to the sponsors of the AZ Sports Fan here on YouTube. Sleeper. The NFL season is here, which means you now have a chance to 100 times your cash on daily fantasy football. pick on stats for stars like touchdowns, passing yards, receiving yards, fantasy points, and more for up to 100 times payout on Sleeper. Get your picks right and you can win big. Use promo code AZSF and you can get up to $100 deposit match on your first initial deposit. Terms and conditions apply. Everything will be in the description below. Make sure you check out Sleeper, proud sponsors of the AZ Sports Fan here on YouTube. Make sure you smack the like button on the video as well. On your way out, we will be closing up shop right here. I don't know if you guys know, but we will not. And we will not be doing a live play-by-play today. I will be attending this game, so I'm not going to be doing it, but you better have your post notification bell on. You better be subscribed. You better smack the like button because we will be having content after this game. And we are giving away this mini helmet as well. So if you're not a subscriber, you're just watching, you want to get a chance to win this beautiful Arizona Cardinals Nike rivalry mini helmet, go and make sure you subscribe it up, smack the like button on this video, and yeah, the rest is history. All right, let's do this. Last predictions. Predictions in the chat below. That's how we're going to be ending this stream off right now. Predictions in the chat below. It's time. Let me know what your final predictions are. Cardinals versus Seahawks. Thursday night football. We got Michael in the chat already saying 21-24 Seattle. No, I'm sorry. Arizona edges it out with a field goal. All right. Who else? Come on. Let's get these streams. Let's get these streams. Let's get these predictions. I don't know what I'm talking about. Let's get these predictions out here. We got Michael already coming up. Robert in the chat. Here we go. 35-10. Woo! The most scoring game in Thursday night football. The Cardinals come out and blow them out. Love to see it. Sheesh. All right, 35-10 Cardinals. We got 24-14 Cards. 28-27 Cards. Ooh, love to see it. 24-17 Cards. A loss. That's it. Just a loss. Okay, I respect it. 31-17 Hawks. Don't do it. Don't do it to me. Oh, but I respect it too. 30-20 if we throw the damn ball. Will Johnson locking JSN. I don't know if Will Johnson's even going to play. Have we heard anything about Will Johnson? Last I heard, he was not in practice yesterday, and it didn't look good. Let me see if there's any updates on Will Johnson real quick. I don't see any updates. Will Johnson hasn't practiced all week. I wouldn't count my chickens too soon. I don't know if Will Johnson's going to play. I think Paris Johnson might be trending in the right direction. For what it's worth, that's good news. But I don't know if Will Johnson's going to play. I don't think I've heard or seen anything out there about Will Johnson playing or not. It's just FYI. Realistically, 24-17 Hawks. Yikes. 41-10 Hawks. Okay, let's end it right here before I throw myself out of this window. All right, ladies and gentlemen, appreciate y'all for tuning in as always. Thursday Night Football is here. We're going to be kicking off a little over 5 hours from now. So make sure you get your popcorn. Make sure you get ready to go. Because, ladies and gentlemen, we are closing up shop right here. Smack the like button, subscribe. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in as always. Have a great rest of your day. And as always, go Cardinals.